Drink some margaritas, I might catch some redfish too. 'Cause all them boys are down to Seadrift, Texas, Castaway Lodge, drinking some brew. We sit out back and watch the Texas sunset, just to do the best we're gonna fight. We gotta get up early in the morning, I might not go to bed tonight. 5 a.m. it rolls around early and needs something to help clear the fog. So I put a little Miller in my coffee, that's right, little hairy dog. Meet on our arcade down at the boat ramp, we headed out to San Antonio Bay. Fishing 3-pole reef, the storm is coming, stinging rain won't keep us away.
Hey guys, this is Captain Kris Kelley with Castaway Lodge, bringing you another edition of Castaway TV. When I left you last episode, we were welcoming in Animal Planet's new hit series, Rattlesnake Republic. We had the boys in early week and we hit the water with the crew. We had Sean and Robert that are two key members in the cast, along with the crew, and we hit the water looking for a nice lizard. And we had to beat the bushes. We're coming down on the end of the season, but Captain Jake and Corey dialed them in, pulling a nice solid 8-footer for the guys, and got all the footage they needed. So keep an eye out for that episode on Animal Planet, Rattlesnake Republic. We also midweek welcomed in Dr. Vasilios Z out of the Austin area, and he came in with a guest in search of a 10-foot alligator, and we managed to find it for him. And right after that, we turned around and welcomed in a large energy company. The guys were hunting trophy class gators, and I tell you what, we sure found them. We managed to pull in an 11, 10-7, a nice 8, and a whopping 13-footer for their efforts. So we finished up strong and already setting the stage for next year, and looking forward to a lot of great alligator hunting in the future. On the fishing scene, late week, about Thursday, I talked to Captain Terry, and he said things were not looking too good. Experienced pretty slow bite on redfish and not much going on with trout. We turned around and welcomed in Manny T and Richard G on Friday, and sure enough, Captain Terry's prediction was about right. It was a slugfest out there, just turning over every leaf looking for fish, and Captain Doug and Captain Terry managed to find a few for the guys, but ended up pretty much with half limits on redfish. So that kind of set the stage and made us a little bit nervous. We had on Saturday, we welcomed in Fishing Guide, of all things. We welcomed in Lane P with Crappie.com, coming out of Central Texas, coming down here to the coast for a bachelor party with his guests, and they're doing a casting blast with us. And I tell you what, I was a little bit nervous about the fishing, but as it turned out, everything was all good. 3 boats, Captain James, Captain Doug, and myself, all hit the water, thrashing it hard. You know, with the precedent of slow fishing setting the stage, we were turning it over for the guys. And you know, fishing a fellow fishing guide, you know, that's some pressure, and we wanted to make sure the guys all had a good time. Captain James had a little bit of boat problems with his motor, but still managed to dial in, pulled in about half limits redfish for the guys. It was a slow grind. He was just surrounded by fish, tailing, backing, cruising near the boat, and blowing bait out of the water, and had a tough time getting them on the hook. Captain Doug led off, pretty much set the stage, and he dialed in on them about mid-morning and started going to work on them. And I tell you what, the boys had the old man down on that trip, and they just loved it. It was double K's getting his head kicked in. Kris isn't catching anything. He's not doing nothing, you know, and man, they love it when they've got me in a bind. Sure enough, we slid in on some fish at about 10:30, coming close to 11. Went to working on them, Managed to pull in 4 nice solid fish for the guys, including 1 oversized fish in the 31-inch range. That got us off the stump. We were at least making progress. We came out of that, and as I was leaving the area, I burned some fish and couldn't figure any way to get on them. They were so shallow, and there was another boat in the area, and my approach really would have cut them off and messed their fishing up. So we kept on going, checked out another area that was not very productive, and we hung out there for a few minutes. I started replaying those fish that I ran over and tried to figure another way to get on them. Sure enough, I doubled back at them. About 20 minutes later, the other boat was gone. They were out in La La Land, nowhere close to them, but they had us kind of cut off on them. We slid in, made a nice solid approach. Within about 2 minutes, we went to working on them hard and ended up pulling 8 solid slot fish, along with we had the 1 oversized. So we didn't quite get our limit, but we ended up with 9 total redfish. So it was a blast. Captain Doug managed to go over the top with limits. Captain James never could get off much better than half limits, but the guys all had a great time. Then we turned them around pretty quick, straight into dove action. And I tell you what, man, dove keeps going good down here. Despite recent rainfalls, we're still hammering on them. It was visions of Mexico at times, kind of a slow trickle, you know, in that 5 to 6 o'clock range. And then I'm telling you, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, man, it was just Katie bar the door, coming at us in waves of hundreds, and a lot of fast action. The guys ended up taking about 10 birds per man average. So another great shoot on dove down here, and a great casting blast. We wish Lane, his future bride, the best, and hope everything goes good for him. So we got him kicked off on the right foot anyways. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of visiting American Airboats in Orange, Texas again to pick up our new 20-foot Air Ranger airboat. And I tell you what, it is an absolute beast. Sally, Farron, Stan, all the guys at American Airboat just make it an absolute pleasure. I tell you what, these are meticulously handcrafted boats, and man, the professionalism just from the initial buying process all the way to picking up the boat, just an absolute pleasure. Why don't you come take a walk with me? Let's look over this new rig. Well, here she is, our new 20-foot Air Ranger airboat, built by American Airboats out of Orange, Texas. I tell you what, it's a beast. Let's take a little bit closer look at this thing. That right there is pretty new to us. That is the all new LS series motors, all aluminum engine, 416 cubic inches, 550 horsepower, about 575 foot-pounds of torque. And I tell you what, it is an absolute beast. Whisper tip propeller, new generation from Whirlwind. And of course, man, no fishing boat would be complete without a power pole. One thing I like in this boat, we've got new LED lighting in all the hatches and also underneath. We're pretty proud of her. Think she's going to do us a great job. Definitely get our clients there and back safe. And I tell you what, I put her on the water yesterday, and I tell you what, man, having 400 pounds off the tail end of this boat with an all aluminum motor, just absolutely unbelievable, especially turning 550 horsepower. Well, now it's on to the rest of the fall frenzy here in October as we head into duck season starting November 5th. We're welcoming in fishing guests this weekend. We've got pretty much a full slate and looking forward to some rod bending action. So y'all stay tuned for another edition of Castaway TV. It's Captain Kris Kelley out.
Sit out back and watch the Texas sunset.